Good morning. I'd like to bring the February 13th Planning and Zoning meeting together. Would everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Posnell,
Here.
Commissioner Selberg,
Here.
Commissioner Buck,
Here.
Commissioner Azarmi,
Here.
Commissioner Walker,
Here.
Commissioner Coletta,
Here.
Commissioner Jones,
Here.
Commissioner Simons,
Here.
Commissioner Gordon,
Here.
Chairman Fouché.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
I'd like to welcome Paul Selberg to the commission today. This is his first meeting, and welcome. Just a couple of announcements this morning. Anyone who has not yet signed in, please do so at the table located in the lobby. Should anyone wish to speak, please complete the request form, which is also located in the lobby table next to the sign-in sheet. A request to speak form must be completed for each item you would like to speak on, including sub-items. Please note that there are stairs on the right, left, and center aisle, and we ask that you use caution when using these stairs. There is also a ramp located to the audience's left. If anyone has written comments, exhibits, petitions, photos, or letters they intend to present at today's meeting, please have 17 copies and give them to a staff member at the back of the auditorium. And she's got her hand up back there. If you do not have 17 copies, you may use the table with the overhead camera next to the podium to present your documents. If you want your documents to go on record, you must hand them to the clerk after your presentation with the agenda item number clearly marked on the document. Members of the public cannot speak to the staff members in the front as they are sitting there with microphones during the meeting. If you have any questions, please see the staff member located in the auditorium, at the back of the auditorium, who will meet you in the lobby. Staff members, please raise your hands at the front. Thank you very much. Timer will be activated for all speakers and will be limited to 2 minutes to make their presentations and statements. Everyone, please turn off your cell phones and pagers or place them on vibrate during the meeting. If you must receive a call, please leave the meeting area and go outside to have your conversation. We also ask that the audience refrain from talking with anyone during the presentations and discussion. Today, the Planning and Zoning will hear public testimony and then forward the recommendations to the Board of Supervisors. The items with the recommendations made by the Commission will be heard by the Board of Supervisors on Monday, March 4th at 9:30 a.m. in the same location, with the exception of any continued items. Everyone is attending the meeting is asked to remember that the administrative building and campus are tobacco-free area, which means no smoking is allowed curb to curb. Only bottled water is allowed in the auditorium. No food, soda, coffee, etc. is allowed in the auditorium. The Commission will adjourn today at 12:30 p.m. If there's any remaining agenda items, they will be continued to Wednesday, January 16th at 10 a.m. in the same location. Approval of the minutes from last month. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Seeing that, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last month.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from last month. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right. Consent agenda. Anybody wish to pull the consent agenda? Any discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 2.
Item number 2 is an evaluation of a request to name 13 new roads, correct road names, and extend road name alignments in Townships 16 and 16.5 North, Ranges 19 and 20 West, in the Mohave County Incorporated vicinity between Yucca and Topak, north of Interstate 40. Mohave County. Staff recommends approval of east-west directional road names described as Atria Road, Deneb Road, Hamal Road, Regulus Road, Castor Road, Avior Road, Libra Road, Adara Road, Lyra Road, Draco Road, Algol Road, Polaris Road, Vega Road, Acturius Road, Antares Road, Rigel Road, and Johnson Road, which includes 7 new road names, new road name corrections, and road name extensions in townships 16 and 16.5 north, ranges 19 and 20 west. The north-south direction road names are described as Diane Drive, Stephen Drive, Scorpio Road, Major Road, Holox Road, Scarlet Drive, Altair Drive, Rio, Colorado, Hadar Road, Cocab Road, Spica Road, Almac Road, Mirac Road, Cash Road, Cepheus Road, Cygnus Road, Capella Road, Mirac Road, Elliott Road, and Auriga Road, which includes 6 new road names, road name corrections, and road name extensions in townships 16 and 16.5 north, ranges 19 and 20 west, as outlined in staff recommendations. Thank you.
Is the applicant present? Or is it
That's
the
Mohave County, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Any speakers on this item? We have no speakers signed up. Any discussion with the commission?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just for my own edification, has there been any logic to all northwest or north and east road, or north and south roads being drives, for example, and east-west being roads? Is there any kind of consistency with that we could, or has been employed or even considered?
Okay. Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Buck, throughout the years, there have been numerous subdivisions in that area that from 1960 to 62, some of the historic road names that were already in place would not follow the same 2001 adopted regulations, that if there were section roads, there are new rules that we follow when there are new subdivisions recorded, but not particularly. The north, south, east, and west, and assignments as such are for 911 reasons in addressing purposes.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve staff recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for item number 2. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 3.
Item 3 is an evaluation of a request for rezone of assessor's parcel number 204-35197 from a CRE 5A commercial recreation 5-acre minimum lot size zone to a CRE 2A commercial recreation 2-acre minimum lot size zone to bring a parcel into compliance with the zoning in the Wallapai Mountain vicinity. Staff recommends approval of the rezone as indicated in the staff report. Thank you.
Is the applicant present? Yes, sir. Would you like to address the commission? Only if there's questions. Okay, thank you. We have no other speakers on this item. Any discussion of the of the commission?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have a question for the staff. It seems there are some houses already there. Are they in compliance? Have they pulled permit for these, or is it something that was grandfathered in?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Azarmi, the property is essentially a recreational vehicle and manufactured home park. The buildings that are in there are under permit. And of course, the RVs, when they come in and out, don't require permits.
Right. Okay.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make the motion to approve per staff recommendation.
Second?
We have a motion and a second for item number 3. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Item number 4, call to the public. We have one speaker, Jim Canellis.
Good morning. My name is Jim Canellis. I live on Oatman Road in the central Sacramento Valley. I stood here at the podium when this commission rescinded the call to the public asking you not to. I stood here when you brought the item up not too long ago and decided to do no action with it. I'm here again today asking you to reinstate it. I found in the past that when there was a call to the public, people were able, my friends, my fellow citizens of Mohave County could come to you right here and put it on the record and explain what they thought you might want to do or maybe you shouldn't do, but it was on the record, and that's important. And I hope you'll reinstate it here again today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jim. We have no more speakers on this item. Some discussion with the... Okay, we'll hang on a minute. You can come up and speak, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please state your name.
My name is Lottie Banker. I represent HALT, which stands for Help Animals' Lives Today. I appreciate all the hard work that you do to improve this county. Our aim has been about the same. The only reason I'm standing before you is that I would ask you to consider the same respect and privilege that you have extended to another sanctuary by the name For the Love of Paws, to make this license instead of 2 years, 3 years. And I just want to leave you one copy of last year's accomplishments. We have saved 374 pet lives in 1 year.
Excuse me, Chairman Fluchet.
Yes,
I don't mean to interrupt the speaker, but we need to stay on the agenda item.
Yes, ma'am. This is not an agenda item. We understand what you're talking about. Today's public hearing is on bringing the call to the public back to the commission.
Okay.
Not discuss any issues other than that today.
Well, the issue is the permit, am I correct?
Well, no, that is not correct.
Okay.
Today, it's whether or not the commission wants to bring back to our agenda the call to the public, which at that time, if we decide to do that, you could come up and discuss a land issue, but not what you're talking about right now.
Okay. May I leave you a copy of what we accomplished last year?
You can give that with a staff member.
All
ma'am.
right, and it saved like $55,000 to the taxpayers, because that's what it costs to euthanize an animal, is close to $148 per animal.
Thank
And
you.
who would like that?
Just give it to the staff
Thank you,
member.
have a good day.
Thank you very much for coming. That'll end the public hearing section of this. Questions or comments from the commission?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
we had this meeting a few months ago, and the transcript of our discussion was available to the commission and also to the public. My comments at the time was that it was becoming more a political issue at the time, and that's why we asked for the expansion, since we are going to have the 5 supervisors and 10 new commissioners, to postpone to today's meeting, which, is a schedule. My comment is that, we are a advisory commission. We are not a legislative commission. And I just want to make sure that, it would be, I'm for it, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that there would be some criteria that the speakers, that they come in to the call to the public, would focus on the scope of our work, not going outside of the scope of work. Because in the past, we had examples of making statements about the county manager, making statements out of the land use ordinance that we have. The scope of work of the commission is specified in the staff report that we have right here. So this is my comment, is that, if you are going to have a call to the public, we would like to encourage to stay within the guidelines of the scope of our work.
Thank you. That's wishful thinking. Any additional
Mr. Chairman.
comments? Yes.
Yes, I agree with Commissioner Zalmi as well. And, the comments would need to pertain to the scope of what we do, but they, they need to feel that they have a voice in some place that they can go as well. My only concern is whether we put it at the beginning of the meeting or at the end of the meeting. I feel that it would be more fair that it was put at the end of the meeting. There's the regular agenda items that we have. Those people, those entities, those individuals have gone through a lengthy process to get to this point, and they have waited their time, they have done their time. And so if somebody needs to address us through the call to the public, I believe that it's only fair that they wait a little bit and wait their time as well, so that the individuals that have gone through the process get their fair time.
I agree with Jack Posnell, Commissioner Posnell. It should go at the end, as he was saying, but I also believe in reading upon it. I was not here as a commissioner. I have heard the pros and the cons about this from several different sides enacted, but I've also had a chance to ask people, and it is all about, we're here for the people. We're here to speak up for them. We're here to listen to them. It should be structured, but they should have a place to feel they have that voice and that people are going to truly listen and help answer their questions or give them some insight of the
Well,
direction.
let me call the public. We just listen.
Well-
We don't respond to anything they say. Just
Okay, well,
make that
they,
clear.
at least they have a voice. I mean, they just want someone to listen, so.
Okay. I just wanted to,
And that's, like I said, I'm
we
still
can't
learning.
take any action on any call to the public
Right.
item. So, okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Are there any parameters that are pre-established in terms of length of time and
2 minutes is generally what we allow all speakers to speak during the call to public, as we do with public hearing agenda items. The issue is that we need to make sure, as we're going through this process, if we do it, and I agree with having it at the end of the meeting if we're going to do it, it has to stay to land ordinance issues, not public attacks and stuff that we were accustomed to. And so that is the real parameter. It's got to stick to land issue items.
is there a spontaneity to it, or are they?
Oh, yeah, we just stop it, and that's what happened. We just continually had to stop people that were, bringing in Pepto-Bismol.
Off topic.
And off topic, and you just, like Mr. Taylor, when things go on, I was about ready to stop her, but thank you, Bob. You just have to stop them, and even when you stop them, sometimes it's difficult because they get very irritated because we're not letting them say whatever it is that they want to say, but we're still a body of land issues. And, they can always go speak at the Board of Supervisors meetings, which they are the real decision makers, and it's kind of tough for us just to sit here and listen, but, that's our job too. So.
Thank you.
That's my take on it. Any additional questions? Any discussion?
I would support bringing it back, but I agree with putting it at the end of the meeting and making sure we do limit it to the topic we're here for, planning and zoning. I mean, if we can just cut them off if they get it going sideways. And
That's
so
what
I
you
think
gotta
that
do.
people do need a place to come and air their frustrations. And then, I mean, I know we can't respond, but we can take it from that meeting and ask staff what's going on with this, or what do we do?
Well, actually, what they needed to be doing is talking to staff, not, staff can answer their questions, because we can't respond to
Correct.
whatever questions they may have, and basically what we do is we refer them back to staff
The
anyway.
staff or agendize it for later, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Any other comments or discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I believe that, the call to the public would be consistent with the Board of Supervisors, since we are an advisory board to the Board of Supervisors. And I believe that, since they adopted the call to the public, it is going to be that with those two criterias that the commission decided already. So I don't, if you're ready, I can make the motion.
Mr. Selber would like to make.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I had some experience on the Bullhead City Planning Commission, and it seemed like the call to the public worked quite well there. And I think the public will get used to the format after we have a few meetings, and I think people will fall in line, and I think it would be a good process. Thank you.
Okay. Any additional questions or comments, discussion?
Well,
No, I
that
feel
is-
we should support this call to the public.
Okay.
Well, with that, I'll make a motion.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to have the call to the public on the subject of the scope of work of the commission, and, it would be done and entertained at the end of the Planning and Zoning Commission every time we have the meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for call to the public. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we will bring that back at the March meeting. Item number 5, bylaws. Has everybody had a chance to review the changes that we made, which mostly is pretty much boilerplate, but Mr. Taylor, if you could maybe just buzz through some of the changes, so just in case there's misreadings or anything.
Chairman Fluchet, basically the changes are proposed in order to comply with the new structure of a 10-member Planning and Zoning Commission. I believe John Montgomery and Chris Ballard primarily worked on the language, so perhaps it would be better if she
Okay,
points out the changes.
Thank you. Maybe Chris, could you help us out here a little bit?
Okay, hopefully that's better. All right. Yeah, the changes basically fall into several categories. First of all, with the change of the membership on the Board of Supervisors to 5 members, the rules governing the commission also change. Second of all, there have been some changes in state statutes, so we took the opportunity to clean up the statute sites. A couple of years ago, the enabling legislation for planning for counties was reorganized, and so we made some changes to recognize that reorganization. Also, there's been some changes in titles. We took this opportunity to clean those up as well. We picked up a few locations where there was some redundancy, and we picked up one location where there was actually a conflict. So we also tried to address those. The one area that changed substantially, of course, was membership. We had a section that addressed both 3-member and 5-member boards. The bylaws recognize the fact that should Mohave County voters want to, they certainly could have gone to a 5-member board before the 200,000 population threshold. Now it appears that basically Mohave County from henceforth will have a 5-member board of supervisors, just based on the population threshold and the fact that we're unlikely to drop below that. So any reference to 3-member boards was struck, leaving only the reference to the 5-member boards. Also, there's some restrictions if you have a 3-member board that do not apply if you have a 5-member board. On a 3-member board, only one of the appointees could be from within the corporate limits of a city within the county. That restriction goes away, and there are no limitations on areas or from within corporate boundaries that appointments could be made. And that's in part recognition to exactly the situation Mohave County has, where we have 2 districts that have very little unincorporated area. And, you'd have to choose 3 neighbors to sit on the commission, which is not an ideal situation. We also made a change. The bylaws reference 3 ex officio members, and technically an ex officio member can vote. These individuals cannot vote. So the state statute does not call these people or these positions ex officio members. It calls them advisors. So we changed, the county attorney, county engineer, director of health and social services, county assessor, and the director of public works all sit in an advisory capacity to the board. We made that recognition and suggest that the commission remove the ex officio title from their positions. One of the changes that we made is that in one place it said that the chairman and vice chairman would be elected at an annual meeting in April of each year or at a subsequent meeting. Later on in the bylaws, it did not have subsequent meeting, so we tried to make those consistent, and that's the reason for the change. Okay. On notices of meetings, we recognize the fact that many of the notices we send to the commission now are sent electronically and not via first-class mail. So we did add the allowance to contact you in your bylaws, suggest that you adopt an allowance to accept either mail or electronic form. Okay. And I made a note I can't read here. I gotta expand my notes.
You do that all the time, don't you?
Okay. We also, the bylaws and indeed state statute until recently spoke of having minutes available within a certain time. Although there are minutes, done for these meetings, much of our interaction with both commission members and the public is not done on the basis of minutes, but on the basis of tapes, discs, and other electronic media. And it says, the way the bylaws reads, it's tapes or discs of the minutes. what we now give to the public, and if you were to call and say, can I have a copy of this meeting today? If you were to call us tomorrow and do that, what we would send you is a disc of the meeting and not a disc of the minutes. I think this is just a reflection of how much better the electronic formatting has gotten over the years. Also, the department does a report to the commission on the status of those items that have gone before the board that were actually recommendations for this commission, from this commission. What the bylaws say is we'll have the report to you at your next meeting or at the meeting following the board's meeting. We no longer do that. We email them to you, and in fact, most of you have already received at least one set of reports. We send them to you within usually 2 or 3 days of the board's meeting. So we want to add the term or sooner to recognize the fact that we're actually getting those to you at an earlier date. Order of business, I will note that on the order of business, which is on page 9, the order of business pretty much lists the skeleton or the framework for the commission's agenda. That framework does not include call to the public at present. So I would recommend that a call to the public item be added, and we can add it one of two ways. We can add it such that it is always at the end of the meeting, or it's always at the beginning, or we can add it in such a way that it's the commission's choice. That is a brief rundown of the changes. I will note to the commission that when we bring the bylaws back in such a manner, it opens the entire document up for discussion. So if there are other items that the commission members have read as a part of preparing for this meeting and thought, well, I can think of a better way to do it, or perhaps somebody with the commission, my fellow commissioners are willing to discuss doing it this way instead.
Ms. Ballard,
It's a good time
should
to
we
do
make
so.
a motion on the call to public at the end of the meeting? Should we do something like that, or just direct you to, seems like the consensus is to have it at the end of the meeting, or should we do a motion?
Mr. Flouchet, I believe Mr. Azarmi's motion under the last item clarified that it would be at least at present.
Wanted to make sure this is a different item number, so.
Right. Now, if we're told to add, if the staff is told to add call to the public as part of the agenda framework, we will at present add it at the end because that's what the last item decided. I just wanted to make sure the commission knew that you can have it anywhere as far as the bylaws, the bylaws are concerned, and you can leave it open as far as the bylaws is concerned. It's your choice. If you want to stick with Mr. Azarmi's motion, we'll do that.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Chris, you mentioned about, if somebody is asking for the transcript of the minutes or the meeting, you would be able to send them like a disk of that. One thing I read through this, to update everything, I recommend if you could also provide, the website that they would be able to, go there and review the transcript. I don't believe that is available right now for the public. I mean, that's the way, I don't really think that anybody can download those transcripts electronically right now.
The actual transcripts of the meeting or the videos of the meeting?
The meeting that we have right now is going to be on the archive of the video of the Mohave County.
That's
and
correct.
available for the review.
Right.
And it can be downloaded, it can be basically, it can be available if they want to. So what I'm saying is that, that service to provide and call you and for you to send them the information, I believe that, you can refer them to the website, the address, and they should be able to get a copy of it. So you don't have to provide that service, and I think it would make it easier and take a lot of work off of the staff if you do it that way.
Okay, a couple of questions, Mr. Zarmi and members of the commission. We can certainly do something like put a link to the spot on the webpage, the county's webpage, where those videos are available and you can go watch them. Actually, it's right there on the home page. You just kind of have to scroll through them. Or we can even add instructions on our page. A lot of times we're asked for discs not because somebody wants to watch it, in which case we can easily refer them to the county's webpage. Sometimes they actually want to submit them for some sort of legal documentation, in which case they will need a disc.
So would they be able to, print it, right? I mean, if you have it, if you have the transcript electronically in the archive, they would be able to print it. I'm saying that it seems like, we are adding a step for the staff and for the county to provide that service, which that service can be available online, and they would be able to, receive and print, and they would have a hard copy if they want, or if they want to review the meeting, they can do that.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Zami, and members of the commission, a couple of things here. I don't know if they can download those and record those videos. I can certainly find out from IT.
It can be arranged, though.
Yes, it can be arranged. I mean, they're probably sizable files, and that's probably the greatest limitation. One of the options that we have with the availability of either electronic media showing the meeting or the meeting minutes is one of the options is just to say, either electronic version of the meeting or meeting minutes will be available, and then by a particular date, and just leave that in the commission bylaws and leave it up to the department and the person requesting as to how they get that information. That is an option for the commission.
Currently, excuse me, Chris, currently the meetings are videotaped, so you can go online probably tomorrow morning and view this entire meeting word for word. And then we also post the minutes online. So I'm just a little confused with, I understand some people are technology challenged, but if it's online and they can go to it and watch it, they can also copy it to a hard disk or to a thumb drive or to a CD or whatever it is. And the same thing goes with the minutes. I just wonder if that's all available. So that's the reason why I wonder why we're going to the expense of sending out CDs.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
One other comment, Chris, is I think we can make it, the electronic or the website, a little bit more user-friendly. At this time, it is quite a bit, you have to play around to find it. It is not that straightforward. You have to go to used to go to the e-government, now they go to, basically the video section, you can find it, and then you do that. It doesn't specifically, it's not there, so, the users are having a little bit of a difficulty finding it. So I think that, if you streamline that and you have that link available, that would make it much easier, and it would take the load off of the staff's shoulder and make that information more available. So that's the only comment I have on that.
Okay.
Can't we, where we have all the agenda books and all that stuff there, we have links to everything else there. Can we, as Mr. Azami says, can we put a link to that individual meeting below, like, what do we got on there? We got the agenda book, we got the action agenda, and then we've got the minutes. Is there an issue with putting it after the minutes where you've got on there meeting video or something of that nature right after that?
Mr. Chairman, I cannot answer that. That's a
Okay.
question we're going to have to get with our IT department, but we certainly will. We'll talk to them and see if we can. I do want to make one thing clear, though, is if somebody comes and requests a disc or a hard copy of the minutes, we do charge them for that.
Yeah, no, I
You know,
understand.
they pay our actual costs. The one point that we're talking about is item 7 on page 8. And it does have report to commission, and it has in quotes, or in parentheses, minutes. And I might point out that this would also be how we make these minutes available to the public these days. We do it basically the same way. Although you get your own mailings. What we can say is recordings of the meeting will be made available within 24 hours. Written minutes of all meetings will be kept, and this, by the way, is a legal requirement. So the written minutes right now are needed to comply with state statutes. Written minutes of all meetings will be kept and made available within 30 days after such meeting. Reword that sentence that way, and then if the commission desires, also add to that recordings and minutes of the meetings will be made available on Mohave County's website.
I think that would be the way to do it.
I agree with Mr. Azami. You know, we should probably make this a little bit more user-friendly, and if they're looking at the minutes or they're looking at the agenda anyway, and they can review something that might save some staff time somewhere down the road.
Right. Well, Mr. Chairman, we'll definitely talk to IT about somehow, if
Okay.
it's possible, to link those videos in. Maybe talk to them about making, it's easy to find the videos. They're on the homepage. What's difficult is to find the exact meeting you're after.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking if you put it right there where all the rest of the stuff is from that meeting, it may be a little easier for folks that aren't familiar with the website. Any additional discussion, comments?
Chairman?
I don't think we're going to vote on this today because we've got some refinement to it. Yes, I'm sorry, go ahead. Mr.
Okay.
Buck.
Chris, if you can go back under meetings, Title 4A, I think it's page 4. You mentioned in your presentation this may be a good opportunity for some housekeeping. Always try to avoid in bylaws putting ourselves in a corner, and I think item 1 regarding the regularly scheduled meeting essentially means it shall be on the second Wednesday unless there's a holiday. I think that we could expand that a little bit and say that should the regular meeting fall on a legal holiday or there is some other conflict in the commissioner's, chairman's opinion, that he could reschedule the meeting. To say that we're always going to have it on the second Wednesday is very specific, and bylaws need to be accommodating, I think. So that would be one suggestion. And the same with item 3, where it states annual. It said the election of the chairman and vice chairman will be held during the April meeting. So I think that's the annual meeting. So maybe that might go in there, but again, the same thing. This is saying every April we will have this meeting, and at every April, I think you need to put a little disclaimer on that to give you some flexibility, just in the outside chance, so someone doesn't come in and try to hold your feet to the fire and something that, some kind of a conflict that made the meeting reasonable to go to another date. I realize that's far-reaching, but we talked about housekeeping, and just a suggestion.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Buck, members of the commission. Yes, 4A1 is fairly restrictive. It hardwires the meeting date and the meeting location into the bylaws. And you'll remember that last meeting we had a conflict with this room, and we were hardwired into this room, and we were hardwired into that date. So thank you for bringing this up. We can certainly put a wording in here that should conflicts or other issues arise, the chairman
Perfect.
can choose a different date, or the chairman can notify. I think, but the one issue that we would have to address, but we could address that at the time with the chairman, is the fact that we've gotten notices, and et cetera, that are out there. Does the commission want to allow the chairman that same flexibility as far as the meeting location is concerned?
I would say yes. Rather than getting 10 opinions, he can certainly start the ball rolling, and then staff can track us down and get the consensus. Otherwise, you'll try to coordinate 10 people's schedule, and I think you're going to have an issue with that.
Well, even next month, we've got a conflict on the meeting where we have to be out of here at a certain time because another event is taking place, which when I talked to Mr. Hunt, it didn't seem to me to be a real problem because it's so close to, I think we had to be out here at 12:30, is that correct? Next month?
It was either 12 or 12:30. Given the agenda, I don't think it's going to be an issue at whichever time
Yeah,
it is.
okay. Well, I didn't figure 12 o'clock was going to be a big deal. So if we had to stop the meeting, just like if we were to stop the meeting today because of something, we would get together next Wednesday, which is our backup date to continue the items. So the plan is to make sure we get done in a timely manner.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, one of the things I will point out to the commission, and you might want to discuss how you want to handle that in the light of Commissioner Buck's comments. One of the reasons, there were places in the bylaws that said that every April would be the annual meeting at which a chairman and vice chairman would be elected. At other spots, it said, or later, or, try to add some flexibility. My inclination with boards is to give you as much flexibility as you can. So if I write something that takes it away, I'm sure to note that. One of the things I noted in state statutes, it says the following, that the commission shall, and this is ARS 1182J1, the commission shall elect a chairman from amongst its members for a term of 1 year, and those other officers as it determines. I read that to be, and I'm not your attorney, so if Mr. Taylor wants to weigh in on this, I would invite him to do so. But the way I read that was, your chairman could only serve for 1 year. He couldn't serve for 1 year or longer. So at this point in time, I'd kind of ask for your, what the commission would like to do. Would you like to have a conversation and talk
What
this
you're
over
really
with you?
saying is 1 year until the election, and then if they're reelected, or that's what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. If the same person is
Because otherwise I was
reelected,
gonna say,
it is a
Mr.
new
Chairman,
election, and they
conflicts
just serve a
already
different-
with that.
I'd go along with that and put in a comma and say unless reelected.
Okay.
That gives you,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a nod from the attorney. I keep trying to hand him the mic. Okay, but, that's why I did change the wording that way. It was because of the state statute.
I'd like to talk about this a little bit because we have a lot of new people on the commission. Meetings, number 4, same topic we were talking about there. Once a year joint workshop with the Board of Supervisors should be held, preferably in the first 3 months of the year. The commission needs to talk about if they want to have a meeting this year. We don't have to, but we should. A joint workshop with the Board of Supervisors, and that's certainly something that we all need to talk about. We haven't consistently done that, but we have done it several times. So if we could have a little discussion on that, if we want to have, it says the first quarter of the year, so
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
The attorney has pointed out that that's not really on the agenda and has suggested that we agendize that for the next meeting.
Okay.
If that would be all right with the commission, we'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
So there's no vote on this thing?
No, we're just trying to fill the holes and just review the changes that were made by statute and the fact that we've got 5 supervisors and 10 commissioners now.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Do you need motions on these changes or suggestions, or do you come back with another copy
Next month I'll come back.
for the final? Okay.
Final.
Great, thank you.
This is more of a draft right now.
Got it, thank you.
All right. If there's no additional discussion, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Thank you all for coming.
It was good to make a motion for you to buy breakfast without the commissioners.